What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday episode of the Crack-A-Pack series, now that we have moved things around a little bit, just to confuse you guys a little bit more. I'm very excited to open up a pack of Scars of Mirrodin today. This is a really good set, a lot of awesome value stuff in here. Sitting at the top at over $100 is Mox Opal. Fantastic card, a card that I do not have yet, so I'd be stoked to get that. Of course, all the fast lands. Blackcleave Cliffs is actually the most expensive, sitting at $55. Really good value. Skittles, the Blight Dragon, is also in here at $30. Wormcoil Engine, also at $25. Really, there's just a lot of awesome stuff, so hopefully we get something cool. As always, we're going to do the best we can to determine what our draft pack one would actually be. I will go ahead and say I've never drafted this. I'm also not the best in draft anyway, so I may not get things perfectly correct, but I will do the best I can. Obviously, if you disagree, just let me know in the comment section below, and we can have a talk about it. So, the first common we have is Cyst Bearer. It is a 2/3 for 2 and a green. It also has Infect, so it deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters, and to players in the form of poison counters. And just in case anybody doesn't know, poison counters, if you give your opponent 10 poison counters, they lose. So it's sort of like bringing the life total down from 20 to 10. Obviously a very interesting and overpowered mechanic. I think this card is decent. I think it's okay in a green Infect deck. It's not amazing, but it does some decent work. Glinthawk Idol, an artifact for 2. Whenever another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Glinthawk Idol become a 2/2 artifact creature with flying until the end of the turn. You can also pay 1 white and it becomes a 2/2 artifact creature with flying until end of turn anyway. So an interesting card. I do like this in general. I think it's decent. It's sort of pseudo protection because it's only a creature till the end of the turn. So if they don't have instant speed removal that targets creatures, it really can't do anything. Obviously, Artifact Hate really is great against this, but I do like this card. Flameboard Hellion. It is a 5/4 for 5 and a red. It has haste and it attacks each turn if able. Obviously an aggressive card, not an amazing card in terms of stats, honestly. 5/4 is obviously powerful. The art's actually really cool. But for 6 mana, it's not great. It does have haste, so it's going to be able to deal that damage very quickly, hopefully. But unfortunately, it's definitely easy to just lose this to a 4/4 or anything that can deal 4 damage. This obviously just dies to, so not a huge fan of that. Volshock Heartstoker. It is a 2/2 for 2 and a red. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. I think this is a perfect low ground, just aggressive card. I think it's awesome with Infect as well. Obviously, if you can pump something up when this comes into play, it's going to be dealing a little bit more extra poison counter damage, which is fantastic. So I do like this card. Weirdly, so far, I think that's actually the pick. Echo Circlet is an artifact for 2. The equipped creature can block an additional creature, and it has an equip cost of 1. I don't really like this card. I don't think it's that good, so I will just go ahead and put that over there. Assault Strobe is a sorcery for 1 red. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. This isn't technically a combat trick. Because it's a sorcery, it cannot be played at instant speed, so you can actually surprise your opponent, therefore not a trick. But being able to deal double strike for 1 mana is pretty good. I'm not sure if this is really great in this format, though. Maybe you guys would know better than I would. I don't like this card, though, to be honest. Soul Parry, an instant for 1 and a white. Prevent all damage 1 or 2 target creatures would deal this turn. Definitely not the kind of card I want in Limited. I want to be aggressive. I don't want to be preventing damage. Yes, it's useful to prevent damage-ish, but like really only if you're losing, so I don't like that. Flight Spellbomb is one of any color for an artifact. You can tap it and sack it. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. When it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 1 blue, and if you do, you can draw a card. I actually really am okay with all of the Spellbombs. I think they're perfectly fine. They're 1-drops generally, so it's not going to be like backbreaking to have to play this. And it also just gives you a bonus, and in this case lets you draw a card, so I do like that. Azuri's Archers is a 1/2 for 1 green. It has reach. When it blocks a creature with flying, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn. I really like this card, not necessarily as a first pick, but I do think so far it's pretty good. Steady Progress is an instant for 2 and a blue. Proliferate is on this card. So basically, you choose any number of permanents and or players with counters on them and give them another counter of that kind already there. So for instance, poison counters is really where this shines. If they've already got a poison counter, at least one, you add another one to their total. If you get them to 10, they just die, which is awesome. It also lets you draw a card. I think this card is pretty good in an infect deck. I don't necessarily like it first pick, but I think it's really good. Trigon of Rage is an artifact for 2 of any color. It enters the battlefield with 3 charge counters on it. You can pay 2 red and tap it, put a charge counter on it, and then you can pay 2 of any color and tap it, remove a charge counter from it. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. I think this is probably okay. I don't think it's great in draft. It just seems a little bit slow. I might be wrong. Correct me by all means, but I'm not a fan. Tangle Angler is a 1/5 for 3 and a green. It has infect, and you can pay 1 green and target creature blocks Tangle Angler this turn if able. I feel like this would be weirdly okay. Yes, it's only a 1/5, but it's dealing permanent damage to creatures. So I kind of like that. I don't know if that's good though. I'm going to keep it here for now. Trinket Mage, great constructed card, a 2/2 for 2 and a blue. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost 1 or less, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. Not as great in draft, unfortunately, but still a very powerful card. I would take this if I was in an artifact heavy deck, but in general, I probably would not. Okay, so we got Geth, Lord of the Vault. It is a 5/5 for 4 and 2 black. It has Intimidate. Oops, sorry for the camera move there. You can pay X and a black, put target artifact or creature card with converted mana cost X from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control tapped. Then that player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. This card is amazing, super powerful. 5/5 for 6 with Intimidate is already great, but that extra ability is just insane. It's absolutely fantastic. So definitely the card I would pick here. I don't think there's a question about that, but by all means, if you disagree, let me know in the comment section. We can try and discuss it, I suppose. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure to leave a like or a comment down below. As always, please make sure to subscribe, stay up to date on all of our awesome content. With that, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next episode.